Excuse me, it makes pleasure to welcome you all to the prestigious International Connect session organized by the Business Insight Club of MBA and MBA IEB Kiosk. Today's session is on very relevant and powerful topic, managing in the age of AI, how Gen AI is redefining business and IT leadership. To make this auspicious occasion, let us invoke the blessing of all the Almighty and request everyone to rise for the prayer song. Over to Edmund for the prayer song.
கருவாக்கி உருவாக்கி எனையாண்டு காத்தருடும் இறைவா நன்றி. எங்கும் நிறைந்தோனே எல்லை இல்லாதவனே, எங்கேயும் எப்போதும் என் குலம் காண்பவனே. நெஞ்சம் துணிய துணையாய் வருவாய், நேர்மறை உணர்வுகள் பெருகிடச் செய்வாய். உடலில் புதியை பெரிதாய் தருவாய், சுற்றமணி காப்பவனே, செய்தொழிலை ஏற்றம் தருபவனே, எடுத்த செயலில் வெற்றி கொடு, என் ஆற்றல் பெருகிட அருளை கொடு. கருவாக்கி உருவாக்கி எனையாண்டு காத்தருளும் இறைவா நன்றி. வல்லமை தந்து நீ வைத்துக் கொடு, அகத்திலும் புறத்திலும் வளர்ச்சி கொடு, வளர்ச்சி கொடு, வளர்ச்சி கொடு, வளர்ச்சி கொடு, வளர்ச்சி கொடு.
Now, I invite the school of First MBA to welcome the members.
Respected dignitaries, esteemed faculty members, distinguished chief guests, and my dear friends. Respected dignitaries. Respected dignitaries, esteemed faculty members, distinguished chief guests, and my dear friends, a very warm and pleasant morning to everyone present here. It is my great privilege to extend a warm welcome to all of you to this open session organized by Business Insight Club on the topic Management in the Age of AI, how Gen AI is redefining business and IT leadership. It is indeed an honor to welcome our distinguished chief guest, Dr. GANESH KUMAR, SIVASUBRAMANIAN, Senior Manager at Cognizant Technology and Corporate Instructor at Cognizant Academy, USA. Welcome to the session. I extend my honorable dignitaries, Dr. V.S. Srinivasan, sir, founder and executive chairman, Dr. K. Sanavan, sir, principal AOT in their absence, Dr. M. Sridharan, sir, director MBA and MBA IEB. We welcome you, sir. Dr. P. Venkatesh, sir, sorry, we welcome you, sir. Dr. S. Vijay Kumar, sir, HOD MBA IEB. Welcome you, sir. And once again welcome each one of you and wish the program a grand success.
Thank you, Pooja, for the warm welcome. Now, it's time to introduce our distinguished speaker. I invite Ms. K. Soumya, first year MBA IEB, to introduce the technology. Great leaders don't just manage projects. They inspire people, transform ideas into impact, and build pathway for others to succeed. With this thought, it's my privilege to introduce our distinct guest today. We are honored to welcome Mr. KUMAR Subramanian, Corporate Instructor at Cognizant, SIVASUBRAMANIAN, Corporate Instructor at Cognizant Academy, and Senior Project Manager at American Institute International Group, AIT, Cognizant Technology Solutions. A visionary professional knowledge more from his excellence in project management and leadership. He holds a PhD in management from Bardea University and an MBA from Anna University and has further expertise with specialization in data science for business from IIM Colombo. His remarkable professional journey spans across globally reputed organizations. He began his journey career as a quality assurance engineer at HCL Technologies, where he worked on data validation and automation framework. He then moved to Tata Consultancy Services as quality assurance lead, where he led team and ensured quality delivery in structured testing processes. Further, advancing his career, he served as a project manager and scrum master at Capgemini, where he handled large-scale programs with budgets high as 40 million, managing project lifecycle, stakeholder coordination, and agile delivery practices. Currently, as a senior project manager at AIT Cognizant, he is leading 6 complex data migration projects with a combined budget of 1.3 million, driving strong transformation initiatives and ensuring seamless delivery across cross-functional teams. In parallel, as a corporate instructor at Cognizant Academy, he plays a vital role in shaping future leaders by training professionals in project management, agile scrums, and software development practices. His core expertise include project planning, stakeholder management, agile and scrum methodology, delivery management, quality assurance, and project lifecycle management, making him a well-renowned leader in the field. What truly sets him apart from us is outstanding achievements. Successfully managed project with budget of up to 12 million, reduce operational cost by 30 to strategic control, led product roll out across 50 states in United States, achieved 25% reduction in claim settlement time, and reduced 80% reduction in maintenance fees. Adding to his distinguished profile, he is a PGMP and PMP certified professional from Project Management Institution and also certified Scrum Master. Beyond all this accomplishment, he is deeply passionate about mentoring, guiding, and empowering the next generation of professionals to succeed in a rapidly evolving digital. On behalf of everyone present here, it's a great honor to welcome such an inspiring and accomplished personality. Let us extend a warm and enthusiastic welcome to Mr. KUMAR Subramanian. Welcome, sir. Now, I request our respected director, Dr. A. Stephen, to address the gallery.
Good morning, everybody. Is it audible? Yes.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Okay, wonderful. Business Insights Club of Department of MBA and MBA IEV, Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Venture Development of Knowledge of Technology, organizes International Connect Faculty Talk Series today. We have with us our chief guest, Dr. GANESH Kumar SIVASUBRAMANIAN, sir, Senior Manager, Cognizant Technology Solutions, Corporate Instructor, Cognizant Academy, US Corporation, USA. We welcome you, sir, for the lecture series. Sir will be talking on the topic managing in the age of AI, how generative AI is redefining business and IT leadership. A brief about knowledge of technology. Knowledge of technology started engineering program in the year 2009, sir. Dr. P.S.S. Srinivasan, sir, is the founder, president of KMOT Trust and executive chairman of Knowledge of Technology. We have Dr. K. Visagavel, sir, principal of Knowledge of Technology. We started MBA in the year 2011 and we started MBA IEB, Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Venture Development in the year 2024, sir. There are around 38 institutions offering IE program in the country of India, and we have 2 institutions offering MBA IEB in the state of Tamil Nadu, affiliated institutions, and ours is one such an institution. We are happy to have it too, sir. We have our faculty members, and also we have the support of industrial mentors working in industry for all the domains: marketing, finance, HR, operations, and systems. And similarly for MBA IEB, we have tied up with DIC industrial centers, MSME, startup owners, entrepreneurs, and we have deliberators from MSME supporting our faculty members in molding students to be an entrepreneur. That's how it goes up. And dear students, we have an important guest with us from USA, and sir will be deliberating on the topic of AI for business and IT leadership. And managers and leaders make use of artificial intelligence to take certain decisions, quick decisions, manage people, improve business, and run an organization. And the AI is used to assist the decision making. In this area, sir is going to elaborate based on his experience and expertise. Once again, we welcome Dr. Ganesh Kumar sir for the deliberation. Once again, sir, we welcome you for the deliberation to MBA IEV students and MBA students. We request students to take notes of the hints and wish you all a happy learning session. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. Now comes to the most awaited moments of the session. It's my privilege to invite our chief guest, Dr. Ganesh Kumar SIVASUBRAMANIAN, Senior Manager at Cognizant Technology Solution and Corporate Instructor at Cognizant Academy, USA. I request you to kindly deliver your address.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. I would like to start with a very great thanks to the Knowledge Institute for having me here. Thank you, Principal Sir. Thank you, Director. Thank you, all the faculty members. Thank you, all the students. And my special thanks to Dr. Venkateshan, my partner in crime, my PhD, classmate. Yeah, let's get started. Let me bring up my screen. I have prepared a small presentation for this session. So hope I'm audible, right?
You're audible, sir.
Yeah. Let me know if you can see my screen as well.
Yes, sir. Managing in the age of AI.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you are still seeing my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I would like to start with a small story, where 2 managers, they were reporting to me a couple of years back. Just for this session, I would like to, mock up their names. Let's call them as Mark and Priya. So this Mark was reporting to me, right? He was running the project very well. He used to provide the status reports to me on every Friday, and the risks, whatever he faces, he updates immediately to me. The decisions were made based on whatever the data he collects during the regular meetings on a periodical basis, and he reports to me on a very well mannered. And there is another manager who also reports to me. She is Priya. So she was also doing the same, but she started experimenting new things. So she started using AI tools to summarize her stakeholder emails, and she draft her risk assessments. And she, in fact, instead of waiting for the data from the analysts, she started prompting to the AI engines, and she was preparing the summary reports well in advance than how Mark used to report it end of the week. So this changed a lot. With that, right, she was able to deliver much more milestones than Mark was delivering when we sum it up at the end of the year. So what is the difference? What I have seen is, I mean, it was basically the approach, the experiments she was doing using the AI tools that brought in a lot of value to the table. So, I mean, by end of the year, Priya's program was also successful. Even the Mark's program was also successful. But the efficiency what Priya brought in to the program was totally different than what Mark was, bringing up to the program. So here the difference is not about the skill and not about the budget. Both the programs, both the projects had the same budget, but how it was managed and how intelligent it was delivered, it created a difference. So basically, I mean, what I wanted to tell here is like the today's topic is not about AI as a technology, but AI as a leadership topic. So now if you see, like, maybe I would like to touch upon 10 key topics which talks about how the projects are, I mean, managed using the current landscape of AI. And I would also probably bring in some 5 key leaders shifts, what, you can bring in, when you are getting into actual projects, and an action plan. Probably, this will be much more helpful when you go out of this room, right? So this helps you what you can do, how I mean, that plan you can make and put your actions, and make use of the AI as a effective tool while managing the projects. So let me move on with a quick introduction about myself. And your friend called out everything about me. So somewhat, I could reflect the same thing here. So I have done my PhD in management from Bardiyar University. I've done my master's in business administration in Anna University. I've also done data science programs from IIM Kozhikode, and I have a bachelor's in engineering from Anna University. Currently, I'm a senior manager at Cognizant Technologies. I take care of some of the insurance clients from US region. So I'm living in North Carolina. So the time is totally different now. If you see a sleepy face, please bear with me. So there are different projects I've handled. So I have close to 20 plus years of experience in the industry, and so I have seen different eras in the IT space. I started my career as a IT engineer, so I have different work crossed different companies, different domains. I've seen insurance customers, healthcare customers. Yeah, so predominantly between these two domains I've circled. So I've also interacted with different parties inside the organizations, like the functional team, the delivery team, the operational team. So I mean, I've been in onshore for past 7 years between Canada and US, and a decade of experience in offshore as well in India between Chennai and Bangalore. So you could see a lot of difference between the way we work from the offshore to the onshore, right? So I could see the expectations what customer has when it comes to the project program managements, where they wanted to deliver IT products to their end users, right? So now a lot of things are getting changed when we speak about GenAI, AI playing a lot of role, right? So with my all my experience, I've put together some of the key topics which will I believe will help you, will maybe open up your eyes in different angle, I would say. I know a lot of things have been taught to you from your classes, from the institute, but some of these the on the ground, the experience could help you. So you can stop me, question me, or we can get into a deep dive of any of these topics. Feel free to interrupt or raise hands. We can talk there. Okay. With that, let us get into the session here. Uh, so I would like to start with the AI inflection point, right? So here, so what we are talking about the AI inflection here is there are three eras I would like to call out. So the eras, probably you can assess where we are, and I have also shown currently where we stand. It basically started with the rule-based systems, right? So when we say rule-based system, it is basically we work with computers to deliver the projects, the IT projects. We develop software for whatever the requirements coming from, right? So to build a software project to make the business more robust. So the era started uh, giving rules, writing up rules, writing programs, using the computers, right? There the lot of role was played by human, right? We study the languages, the expectations from the customers, and we create rules, we interact with computers, and then we come up with the project deliverables. I would say it is between 1980s to 2000s, and then the machine learning era started. I mean, probably some of you might have just seen this machine learning, but technically it started from 2000s, and till 2022 it was growing up a lot. And the machine learning is something, it understands the pattern, and it also makes predictions, recommendations. It is a next level of the rule based systems, I would say, where people used to make the data science portion of it, and then build models and create machine learning algorithms uh, to make better predictions that helps the business to take a choice of investing into the right products, assess their competitors, and then work accordingly. So that is between, I would say, 2000s to 2022. Probably we are just crossing that era, I would say. For example, if I want to call out some of the areas, right, for the machine learning. For example, Amazon played a lot of role. They do a lot of machine learning models in promoting their products or launching the right sub items in their sales. Now it is open to everyone. Having our GenAI coming in, right, with the new era, I would say it's more intelligent. Though it's artificial intelligent, it's open to all nowadays. Everyone is having at least the minimal access to AI, having the capability to build their own models and work out and create their own business. So we are all here at present, and here I mean, the systems and the machines are powered up with the GenAI enhancements, and the LLMs are coming in build, where you just prompt it, it gives the expected result without even putting our rules in place or building a machine learning models to it, right? So everything is already in place, so it picks the right rules, right models based on the user requirements, or what we are questioning, or what we wanted to build, right? So the GenAI era is going to be much more powerful than what we have seen in the past two eras. So for example, if you see chat gpt, right, it is reaching 100 million users in 60 days. So for when we look back, when Netflix launched, it took 3.5 years, close to 4 years, to reach 100 million users, whereas Instagram, it took 2.5 to 3 years to reach the same 100 million users, whereas ChatGPT just took 60 days, 2 months of time. So that's, I would say, that's not a technology trend, but that's a cultural movement, right? So it's so fast nowadays, and we will still see this speed and the fast in adoption of these GenAI technologies, starting from the core of development till the management layers. It's going to be very fast migration, I would say. So I have called out some of the key aspects here. If you say, I mean, the 60 days of ChatGPT reaching 100 million users, which is one of the fastest adoption in the history. The technology wise, right? Normally it takes at least 5 years for any bigger migration to come in. So when I remember, when we started in 2000s, right? So the computers were big. The data was captured in files. Then then they moved into databases, relational databases, big databases, Teradata, and then big data, then cloud, and cloud is now outdated. So the technology wise, how it is being brought into these places, right? It is also getting enhanced. The data what we are accumulating is much more heavier, complex than what we have seen earlier. And it requires a lot of heavy processors and heavy infrastructure to hold the data plus process the data. And if we have more data and if we have more powerful engines, that helps the business to take right decisions by performing a lot of analytics on the data. So that's how nowadays the data centers are coming up in a bigger volume, and a lot of the big high tech companies are investing more towards the data centers and building powerful engines to process it. So if you see, there are okay, I could see $500 billion projected global AI market by 2030. So we are in 2026. So in another 4 years, it's going to be a very big boom in the revenues, what the GenAI is going to bring into the IT space. So which will also have a lot of scope to the engineers and the managers on the positive side. But there are some gray areas as well, which we will touch up in the upcoming slides. So if you don't know already, 70% of organizations are already into GenAI. So the Claude, the Copilot are already into the IT techs. Like they started buying the license and giving it to their employees, and while building the products, right? So that is going to be by default, like how you have your Microsoft products like Excel or any databases or any reporting tools or whatever you have in your machines when you get into a project, right? Same way the GenAI tools and models are going to be embedded into you, and you are supposed to be aware of all those and get used to it and start providing results using the GenAI tools. Which means so earlier, if a team of 10 members is producing the result, tomorrow a 15-member team who's producing the result will be expected from the 10-member team. Just an example I'm saying. It might go even far, like down the line. So with GenAI, right? So what it also gives us an inference is it reduces the working hours. I mean, I could see definitely 40% of all of our working hours in a project environment, right? It's getting reduced, which means, right? I mean, these 40% is towards the complicated jobs or unwanted jobs or repeated jobs. What we are doing is getting reduced by GenAI. So it's a productivity improvement, and that's all put together, right? So that made the business to get into the GenAI mode, and that's how we see the AI inflection is getting to its peak in the current trend. So let me get into the capabilities and the landscape, what GenAI can do. So if you see here, the GenAI has multiple flavors, right? So the GenAI, I have categorized here 6 capabilities what GenAI can do. So basically, the natural language generation, right? So basically, you don't want to have a complicated code to be written while you want to interact with uh, any AI platform. So see now, I don't know if I believe most of you guys would have seen how the GenAI is response. If not, right? So I would say it's late for you. So either Copilot or Claude, you can get into a trial version or get some license out of it to explore how it responds to you. Maybe you can build your own projects, a small project. You can pick a couple of use cases and do it. And that's my some of the action plans I've put down, in the upcoming slides. But I will talk it in detail. But from natural language generation perspective, so basically, GenAI can draft reports. It can summarize your meeting. So, for example, we are in a meeting. So, whatever, I mean, the current meetings we have in our regular day-to-day office meetings, right? So, I mean, even Cognizant has given us the meeting, the notes option, like the MOMs from Microsoft itself. They are providing the Copilot's meeting capturing notes. So it summarizes very accurately, and it in fact, come up with a quantified meeting minutes after your half an hour or 1 hour meetings. So this we have seen as a real time problem. We talk hours to solve any problem, right? Or to solve any conflict, or just when, or not even problem or conflict, when you're getting into a meeting where you're talking about a requirement from a business team, right? So they talk whatever comes to their mind. At the end of the day, if you are not capturing it correctly, then you will not be delivering it correctly. So the problem starts from the stage 1 itself. And that is something, awesome when it comes to the AI based minutes meeting, right? Minutes of meeting, which is getting captured end of the meetings. So a lot of similar features. I've just called out one, but here there are some business focused the language generation aspects. So I mean, it can draft the 50-page documents, summarize it, and give it to you in 2 minutes. It might take at least a day or two for a team of users who wanted to summarize that 50-page document. By reading it, understanding it, clarifying it, and then preparing a summary is very difficult. And it can directly tied up to the business products, in for example a policy generation, or creating a transcripts, right? So the AI solutions can easily adapted for any the natural language generation related use cases. The next thing is about the code generation and review. So yeah, Copilot is one very good tool from Microsoft. We have similar tools, like we have Claude, now much popular. Perplex, we have Perplex. I have used all three, because I get that from my company and from my customer side of it, right? So I get different of these tools, at least for the experiment purpose, right? From the customer side, they wanted to evaluate the tools as such, right? So we recommend them, and we use them day to day. So for example, Copilot, right, it writes the code. Basically all the software developers, they use the Copilot tool, and they were able to save 30 to 40% of their coding time. So now the question is not whether your team is using it or not. It's whether how they are using it. So basically, adoption is another thing. So keeping the tool as it is, or without a use, or without properly using it, is another problem. So which we wanted to create some awareness to the team, or motivate them, educate them how to properly use the tool, right? And that is another aspect of the gray area. But again, The code generation using some of these AI tools are much efficient, and it saves obviously 40 to 50% of their time in the regular development phase. Yeah, the next one is about the data analysis and insights. It's definitely a capability that AI brings into the table. So what is data analysis and insights, right? So whatever the deep dive what we wanted to make, the questions what we ask, what we had when we see any data or when a report comes in, right? So that depend on individual to individual. I could infer something from the data which is presented to me, and probably some junior resources, right, or someone senior to me see the data and the report in a different format. But the actual thing, or what is the key essence what we wanted to take out from the data, might be missing when we sum it up together, or collectively get the feedback from the team or people, right? So it might be a little biased there. And using GenAI tools, the data, and it also takes a lot of time. Like, again, data analysis is not just an easy thing. It's a kind of postmortem activities you do, right? So you see the data, you do some digging to it and find what's inside the data, what it tells us, right? So it's really a tougher activity, and not everyone can do it, and probably you need to have a right skill set about that data domain, and with some experience around it. So that helps you to perform a good analysis on the data and come up with good insights, right? With our GenAI tools, right, with our GenAI in place, it has a lot of capabilities around performing accurate data analysis, come up with outcomes, what are the key insights involved, right? So the recommendations, what is going wrong, what could be done, all are properly called out when we get into the usage of GenAI. So it helps preparing dashboards, and it calls out if the budget is going beyond, or if it feels like if the data represents, if you're going to burn the budget in the next 2 weeks or in the next 2 months, you will get an alert, which you might be missing if any of the human error happened, and it could be notified in a later phase. We will not have opportunity to correct it or take some preventive actions. And that's where the usage of GenAI in data analysis and coming up with the insights helps the managers in taking the corrective actions in advance than in a later phase. It also has a capability towards making decisions. So basically, this is something to do with the modeling side, performing a detailed risk analysis, and it predominantly helps the leaders, basically, right? So this is the area where so all of us, right, will be keenly interested in seeing what decisions could be made. Again, it is not that AI is going to make decisions. It can propose you the possible decisions and its possible outcomes. At the end of the day, we are going to make the decision. That's how currently the AI is designed. It is not tied up directly to any system to make decisions and apply the decisions and go with that. But it is currently supporting the decision making process with more supporting information, right? With more the areas or the facts which supports in making the decisions. With all the factors, the GenAI capabilities of the decision making support systems, right? It can help us with all these factors. My decisions would be these are my decisions, and if you take this decision one, you will be ending up your project, with a little variance or with little, cost variance or time variance. All those aspects will be given in front of us, and it's again the manager's call to make the decisions which suits the environment. And it is going to be faster as well. Again, when we talk about decisions, right? So it is supposed to be taken at the right time and the right decision as well, right? So normally, we see doing the RCAs, investigating things, talking to multiple teams, and finally, when we make a decision, it's already too late, which is not going to solve the problem, or it is not going to create a happy face with the customer's side. We will be out of the game most of the situations, right? Because there are people who are ready to invest much, and probably they are ready to take the decisions quicker. Their risk taking abilities might be much higher, or we might lose the game. So decisions made at the right time also matters, and using GenAI capabilities, coming up with the decisions options around that will be faster as well. So the next capability is about the process automation. So basically, there are a lot of automations, right? So before even GenAI is in place, right? So with the software and all the coding aspects, we talk about automation, even in software or in manufacturing sectors or anywhere, right? So the automation was there, but using GenAI, this automation is going to be much more powerful. The robust, process automation is going to be more intelligent by using the GenAI capabilities. A lot of unstructured things, right, can get into a structured format. And I have called out all the tools which support each of these capabilities. For example, starting from the natural language generation, the tools are like the ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. And for code generation and reviews, right? So we have Microsoft's Copilot, Code Whisper, Cursor. And for data analysis, Power BI, Tableau, Snowflake, Cortex, those things, right, that supports the GenAI capabilities. For decision makings, the RAG systems, the AI agents can help a lot in making decisions. For the process automation, again, AI agents can be built towards whatever the automations we are making. The LangChain and the AutoGen side of models can help the process automation side. The last capability is about the predictive intelligence, which is something talks about the future. Basically, it refers all the history data, and it performs analysis and predicts what could happen, with the current trend. So by properly forecasting the risks for a project, it helps the project managers to take some mitigations, including the resource, the demands, right? So planning aspects can be strengthened wherever we see the resource demands, and the defect predictions for a project, right? So when for a given period of time, if the project is trending towards more defects in the cycle 1 or cycle 2 of the testing phases, the GenAI models can tell where exactly the problem is coming from. Though the team was doing the RCAs and the defects are getting triaged, the defect prediction can give some more inference that probably this particular development team is lagging in the business knowledge, or this particular team is having more environmental issues. At the right time, if this has been identified and taken up to the program team, the respective actions could be taken up to solve the problem. And this plays a major role in the go-no-go meetings, when a product is getting launched. And this also helps us to move towards proactive, leadership than a reactive one. Probably that is one key difference, I would say. So instead of making the fixes or repairs or patch-up works after the problem occurred, right? The proactive actions are much lesser in cost, I would say, so you don't want to spend a lot, and you will be able to fix bigger problems before it even occurs. I would like to take a pass and see if anyone has any questions. Am I on the right pace? Yes, no? We are good? Okay.
Hello,
I will
sir.
take. Yeah. Are we good?
Students respond, sir is asking, are you able to follow? You are able to understand. Respond to sir. Dear students, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please respond to sir. Sir is asking whether you are able to follow, you are able to understand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
So my question is, you said every decision and action, corrective decisions and actions are taken by AI. Do you think every decisions are correct that was taken by AI?
No, let me correct that, right? AI is going to suggest you with an options. AI is going to suggest you with multiple options, what the decisions could be or what the problem, right? So when we ask a question to AI, it gives you response. That's it, right? With none of the response or uh, decisions are tied up to the execution phases. But probably, what I have seen from the code generation, right? Copilot or Claude, which I have used, which is something, you can even use the GenAI tools like, Claude or Copilot to not to interrupt my code base. There could be multiple code bases, right? You have created a code version 1, and you are using GenAI to enhance it, or even, you started building using your GenAI tool, let's say, right? Claude or Copilot. And then, you are making changes to it, or you are enhancing it by adding new features to it. So even then, right, there are two options. You can I want to add another feature, another, enhancement, because you build your product progressively, step by step. So in the step 2, when you are saying I want to create this step 2, so there are two options, right? GenAI can get your question and it will understand your ask. It can implement directly to your code base, right? I've seen, it just overrides it. It creates a new version and just gives in front of you. So the problem could be, you might be able to lose your version 1 unless you are aware that, it will overwrite it, right? So you should have that awareness. In fact, you should study about how to use the GenAI tools, do's and don'ts, what are the impacts, right? So there are aspects around it. You may have to just go through the basics, whatever the tool you are going to use, right? So I mean, with that, right, you will get the awareness, right? You can, the other option is you can tell the the GenAI tool that just provide me the suggestion, I will take care of the enhancement. That's on the coding part. It can directly, tie up to your original code base or your original architecture or your system. But when it comes to decisions, right, at least in the IT project managements, program managements, there is no such direct link to the executions. Like if I want, if the GenAI tool, or probably if my the models or the predictive intelligence, whatever these capabilities, right, if it tells the leaders that, there is a gap, there is a resource crunch you're going to see in next to 2 weeks, right, it will just tell. It cannot initiate a transaction to the HR department and directly, interact with the candidates and onboard a resource, right? It is not that matured. That can happen down the line. Probably we are not seeing that now, but at least on the coding aspect, right, it is there. That's where you're seeing 50+% of optimization happening over there, but decisions are still made by probably the leaders, and the AI will support you there. Okay, but the support what we are getting from AI, even to leaders, right, it is enormous. Like you cannot think about it. Probably it can happen with the senior leaders sitting for at least a week's time to do a deep dive into the problem statement and arrive that decision, which is now happening in probably 10 minutes or less than that, right? So it saves a lot of time at that executive level, leaders level. Taking decisions in 10 minutes versus 1 week's time means a lot. Hope that clarifies that, right?
Sir, may I ask a certain question, sir?
Yeah.
So you spoke about the predictive intelligence, where it suggests how the future is going to be. May you give certain examples of for that predictive intelligence?
So basically, this talks about the trends. So again, the trends, the predictions happens, based on the data. And again, the data, what I mean is the historical data with a lot of parameters, the right parameters, the right variables, and a good volume of data, and good coverage of data, good mix of data, right? So I mean, again, by giving all this available, right? So there are models which are built in the previous era, I would say, which is even getting enhanced nowadays, which is readily available by GenAI, that helps in making predictions of how the project can turn up or down in the coming milestone, or for the current milestone in the coming weeks, right? So the assessments are much more accurate and faster when we start adapting the predictive intelligence from GenAI. So I would say this, many of these are, I mean, it's in the industry, but it's in a very smaller case, and it is not exposed to everyone. Probably only high-tech companies are using the models, algorithms, machine learning things, right? So those are all not exposed to everyone, but this GenAI is now open to everyone, and it is more powerful is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, let's. Yeah, go ahead.
So when we talk about predictive intelligence, recently the trending topic is when you take a photo of your farm and post it in ChatGPT, it will predict your future. What do you think about it?
See, probably it's image processing, right? So it tries to picturize you or change your, I mean, images into different forms. Again, that happens based on the millions or millions of images it process it. It could have processed multiple images of different age groups, and the same thing, it is applying to your case as well. Again, I'm not that close to that, image processing or whatever, the prediction about the future what you are talking, but I would like to do some more research onto it, how the prediction to the future is about an individual is happening. Because see, we have again the horoscopes everywhere, right? Probably I would say it's also now accessible in the internet, right? So it can read it. So whatever is in the internet, right, it can easily read it. It probably picks and ties up with your personality and probably whatever the characteristics which we are giving as an input to the engine, right? So it comes up with some more matching results which the horoscope and other similar analysis it would have performed, right? So I believe that's how it is coming out. Also coming out based on uh, the models and engines and algorithms built around that, right? So I would say it's another interesting, but yeah, maybe I will also go through it. I'm not much familiar around future prediction. I'm more towards probably the project status predictions or how the project goes, as per the plan, or we are deviating from the expected targets, right? So, but definitely, right, see, but that's a very great question, though we are talking here about IT projects, leaderships, which where AI solutions going to help. Again, GenAI is not just for IT, right? So it's open for everyone, and for healthcare side, clinical uh, tests, right? So it is going to be faster because it currently, the clinical side of medicines, whatever is being built, it undergoes a lot of tests, the lab tests, which with the powerful engines and the infra and the AI influence, it can be much faster. The same way, like, maybe in all the other industries, it plays its own role, and whatever you said is one among is what I would say. Let me jump into the business leadership. We'll take the questions, down the line. So here, I'm just calling out the traditional approach versus the GenAI augmented approach. Uh, as we all know, like, the traditional approach is, some of us are still following the traditional way, and I could clearly see all the IT firms are now getting into the GenAI augmented approach. But currently at this stage, I would say it's mixed. Both are still active. um, I would say, like, 70-30, like, 70 percentage of traditional approach is still there, but it's at a very, very fast pace. The GenAI approach is taking upper hand, and it's getting into uh, the system. So all the traditional approach will slowly shut down, and everyone will start getting into the new approach of the GenAI way. For example, if you see the reviews, right? So normally how the review happens when it comes to the program level or at executives level. So they go with steering meetings, like, it could be a monthly steering meeting or a quarterly steering meetings, where everything will be assessed for the given budget, for the given program or the project, how it is being executed, are we on the right track. The stakeholders will be coming and reviewing the progress, the money what they're putting, are they seeing the value. So there will be there will be a gate reviews, right? So all these uh, reviews happens at a quarterly or monthly basis, which is a very big gap. Anything can change from the industry standpoint or the market situation standpoint, right? So anything can change, and they don't, I mean, they don't want to take their decisions um, and the third month where the situation changes, and they would have already lost 3 months of cost, right? So that's traditional approach is little dangerous. And with this GenAI augmented approach, the continuous refinement using the real-time data and the AI intelligence, right? So it will be quick calls, quick reviews, quick decision makings. That's what uh, the new approach is going to help the business. And the customer segmentation, which is nothing but you are um, assessing your customer base, and you are planning your upcoming business expansions. That was little cost involved, and you need to have a bigger analysis, market analysis, to uh, do that analysis. And the GenAI approach, it can help you there as well. So it tailors all the uh, data, whatever about the customers, profile them, and uh, allow the sales team to come up with appropriate the business models, or coming up with the costing, pricing, all the aspects, right, will be much more sophisticated, I would say. So in the legacy or in the traditional approach, right, whatever new ideas, right, so which getting developed, right, so it takes a lot of time to conceptualize it, and then to make it to a real picture, right, probably getting into a pilot mode, and then taking into the implementation mode, right, so it takes a lot of time. Whereas this GenAI approaches are just maybe it takes minutes or hours. It is just matter of asking the right questions and providing right data and informations, right. With that, it is easily achievable in the new approach. As we already discussed, the reports analysis for the analysts and for the leaderships, right, it was probably a weekly report or a monthly report get circulated to all the leadership teams. Whereas now, I would say the leaders don't even need to get the reports from the analysts. If the target is the leaders will be equipped with all the GenAI tools, you just need to query it, or you just need to prompt. Probably there is a separate topic of prompt engineering, where how you can use the GenAI with appropriate prompts to get the correct and quick results, right. So see, again, maybe that is another gray area, I would say. Since the GenAI and the AI trend is coming up, there are some areas where you will see different outcomes, right. So, but again, when you study it, when you get that basic of how to use it, and understand where it can hallucinate, right, so avoiding different results for the same question, right, so you will be able to overcome that. Again, from AI or GenAI perspective, it is still the same and the correct result. Probably, the last time it tells you you are lagging 10 days, or you are going to overburn your cost. Like, you are given only with 1 million, but you're going to consume 1.5 million. And then the next time it tells you that, you're going to consume only 800. So it will, according to the response from the GenAI, right, what we have seen is it still feels it's correct, because it can still prove you that, it's correct. It's that we have to, probably give the right, probably during the second time, things might have changed, or you could have given a different input to the, GenAI that made the GenAI engine to give you a different result. So you have to be careful what we are asking and what it is giving, right? So again, at the end of the day, you are the one who are going to take the data from the GenAI output, right? So you are the one who, it's going to give you in minutes, right? It's going to just tell you in 2 minutes or 10 minutes time, which typically could take a week's time after all the debugging, analysis, or reviews, right? It will still give you in 10 minutes, but you may have to take little time, carefully, assess that, and then, take the correct decisions. It's still, on us to take the appropriate decisions. So the another thing is the competitive intelligence, which were gathered manually, whereas now it is open, and the AI continuously monitors the competitors, and it gives the it already has the intelligence on top of it. So if we are making the right statements and right requirements, we are going to get the products in a very faster pace. So there are some facts I have called out here. So we have seen 40% of reduction in strategic cycle time with AI scenario planning. I mean, yeah, which is very true. You don't want to get into bigger planning meetings, uh, bigger, reviews, requirement gatherings, everything. I mean, was a process, was a practice across IT, right? So when we see IT, like, we have seen waterfall model, agile models happening in a rapid phases, right? Everything was a process to ensure we are not losing any small aspects while building a bigger projects, and we don't want to miss anyone's input or anyone's uh, suggestions, before we come up with the project delivery, right? So that process was there, and it was a lot of time consuming, and that is getting reduced massively, at least 40%, because the manual efforts what was happening there was organizing people, making them to sit together itself is a bigger thing, right? But I mean, now it is seen as a bigger thing, because the AI is producing us the results in a faster pace. But that was helping us till now. But I mean, we are going to reduce that organizing aspects, collecting feedbacks from many people. Rather, we take the strategic decisions with all the facts, whatever we needed, right? So the GenAI tools are going to give us the facts within the organization. It can, if we directly connect our the GenAI models to our organization, right? So it can easily fetch the informations within our system from the internet, from the books, right? From the year-end books, whatever, right? So it has access to everything, and it can give you the facts, and the strategic decisions are going to be much more faster compared to the traditional way. And it has a 25% of customer satisfaction. Yeah, yes. I mean, if you would have used any of the tools, you could have noticed that. And I have personally seen the Copilot or Claude or Cursor was exciting, when you start using it for the first time, because earlier you used to write your code line by line, debug it for hours, and then maybe then you get tired, then you go to the next day, and then come back and fix it. But now it's very I would say, like, sophisticated manner, like, it gives a reasoning while it is also fixing, right? So it definitely, I mean, for all the coding related aspects, right, it takes minutes time with the actual fix, and where you have have the problem in your code or in your decision making process, right? So whatever, be it in a software development phase or in the analysis phase for any management meetings, right, it is much faster and much accurate, and it gives a fact that how we derived that, right? So that is another interesting thing. And it is like more like an interaction, I would say. I've seen, like, it talks to you. That's how I feel when I was using it. So it tells, yeah, you are right. No, you know what, I don't, it will even deny your suggestions when I'm coding or when I'm taking some analysis. I will tell that, I think this is correct. I've seen it many times, right? I've seen it many times. When I say that I'm not seeing this result, I've given the input. It tells that, no, my program is, I mean, whatever program we created is correct, or whatever the analysis we have done is correct. Can you check this data? Can you check the data? Probably since it's on prompting, right? The problem I have seen is I carelessly don't go back and assess the data or verify the data, or I would have made a mistake in my side, which I would have more confident that it is not happening. Then I realized that it's a problem with my side, so it will try to then go to the bottom of it, debug it. Might be one of these cases is failing for you. So, and it is more interactive. It's probably it is not just like using Google or any querying engine, right? So it's not like that. It is much more than that. Is what I have seen, and that's where it shows like it's more satisfaction from the customer side. It's much more using any GenAI tools. Yeah, again, the reporting time we have spoken a lot, so it reduces a lot of reporting time, and that is much essential for the leaders, right? So generating a report, starting from data collection or reviewing the data, getting feedback about the data, right? So then you create your reports, validate it, then you present it to your leadership teams. That phases are like takes a lot of time, and even though you spend a lot of time, the accuracy might not be 100% all the time, right? And when it goes to the business, right, your presentations coming out of your reports might not be that accurate, or that might not be as expected from the leadership teams. So the key insights or the outcomes from any report, right, that matters. What is the storyline you wanted to say from the report, or what you are going to suggest and advise the business that you should not do this or you should do this, that may not be properly called out. I mean, it's not always, but I would say like at a good percentage, right, it is not that accurate. But using GenAI, the reporting is much accurate, and it creates a lot of change compared to the legacy approach. Are we good with time? I've not seen the time. Quick time check. Where are we?
It's a 10:45.
Okay, let me move on to the next section, which is IT leadership. So far, whatever we have discussed is how AI is getting transformed from the previous eras. What are the capabilities, right? Different capabilities, what GenAI can bring into the table. From the business leadership perspective, between the traditional approach and the new approach, right? How it is going to help and solve the leadership teams by using GenAI, right? So with that, let's move on to IT leadership. Okay, so here it's going to solve different departments. I've categorized this with different sections or departments in any typical IT organization. So software engineering is one of the core and probably the key area, like where the IT products are getting developed, right? So the software engineering team as such, right? So that they get benefited a lot. 40 to 55% of developers' velocity is increased. Velocity in the sense like the volume of work they takes, right? So the velocity gets bumped up by 40 to 55%, which means they can pick up 40 to 55% of additional requirements, or business can come up with new enhancements or the future plans, whatever they have in their pipeline, right? They wanted to achieve in the next year or third year, right? That can brought in with this availability, right? So because currently the software engineers are able to make up their work or develop the products in 40 to 55% lesser time, but or 40 to 55% more items what they were developing earlier. So it is definitely a key place where the software engineers get benefited. And again, right, if this definitely means that the IT team altogether, not only the leaders, right? So it is basically from starting from the software uh, development teams till the leadership level, right? So they are supposed to be aware of the GenAI introductions and the usage of the GenAI tools. So the next one is the ops team, the IT operations team, right? So here, let's imagine, like, you are monitoring a system and probably, right, and alerting the breakpoints, right? Probably you're continuously monitoring it, and you are finding some breaks in the operational systems, right? And you are alerting it. I mean, considering the AI introductions, right? So it could tell you in advance. So that's what I'm trying to say here is, right, the uh, operational issues, if it is being identified in advance, it's going to be easier fix for the maintenance teams. So that's where this maintain to repair MTTR percentage tells us, like, 70 percentage of mean time taken to repair, right, using AI driven platforms are getting reduced, right? So the mean time, if it takes 2 days for a P1 priority one issues getting reported, by effective use of AI operational engines, it could identify uh, proactively and update the maintenance teams uh, to be prepared and probably fix it before it occurs. The next department or the area what we could see is the architectural and the design team. So yeah, here also, right, I could see the architectural team and the design team primarily goes with their expertise in the domain, um, and with the organization, right? So they know in and out, and they design the appropriate systems for the organization. So, and using the GenAI, right, it is going to um, in, improve their ability of building the architectures in a more fascinated way and shorter time, right? So that helps the architecture and the design teams to come up with their design documents, to the project teams. The last one is the talent team, probably the resourcing side, right? So yeah, this could be the question everyone have, probably, even I had initially. Will AI replace my team? No, I would say definitely no. The right question would be, like, which skills we must, be aware of, or which skills we must um, adapt for our team, right? So that should be the question. Basically, AI cannot replace any team members. AI is going to be used by the team members. It's going to optimize the work what my team is doing, right? So in my team, if I have uh, 50 people, right, so they are delivering some work, and tomorrow also I am going to have 50 people, right? But probably the business is going to come up with 100. Maybe, they may say that 50 people's work is there, I will be able to do it with 30, and I will be using my remaining 20 for different uh, scope of work. So that's how the play will happen. But yeah, I mean, so the question of will AI replace my team, that's not the right thing, I would say. um, but yeah, like, probably uh, the literacy aspect of AI, if people are not towards getting literate towards AI space, right, that might be a problem uh, for the organization plus the program, right? So there comes the retention, or probably, because everyone will be equipped with the AI engines, and the expectations and the estimates and the project delivery methods and models are literally going to change. No more waterfall or agile, or 2 week sprints or 6 months deliverable or nothing. Maybe they may come today and they may ask you to deliver a project in a day. Something like, maybe you study for 6 months and you write your exam today. Tomorrow, probably, I mean, again, to your knowledge, to your capability, you'll be able to, we will be able to do that. But, they may ask you to use the AI tools, study it, find the, latest problem, in the current world, and come up with a project, solve a problem, right? So that could be given to you, in a 3 months or a 6 months project, but with AI they may ask you to do it in a 1 week's time, and that's happening today, right? So that AI is also, capable of doing, and people are doing, and the engines are more powerful, and that's going to happen. Yeah, there are some facts I've called even in this slide. If you see, there is $1.5 trillion IT productivity gain projected in 2030 by the usage of AI. And there are 80% of IT leaders say AI is the number one strategic priority. And it is 3 times faster incident resolution with the AI ops versus manual triage. Okay, let me move on to the next slide, which is a key one, right? I mean, yeah, the 5 shifts every leader must make. So the first one is the mindset shift. So this is something, probably tough thing, maybe every generation change, right? Every one of us would have undergone this problem, but we should get into this, right? We should shift our minds and start adopting what is the latest trend. So that's what we are calling out there, from data consumer to data strategist. We don't want to wait for dashboards to be built. We can use a AI tool, put our queries or questions, prompt AI, and get the answers, whatever you are going to get from the dashboards, right? So technically a dashboard intention is to provide the business intelligence, right? So any Power BI or Tableau, Cognos reports, right? It is built to support the business, and in fact, it provides you the intelligence reports to the business. What is our sales for this year, last year, and what is the forecast for the next year, right? So at a different level, the dashboards helps the business in making decisions and to find out what's happening currently. In generating the dashboard itself, right, it's a very big project, I would say. Bring in a data, build your data warehouse, generate your dashboards, your interactive or intelligent dashboards, whatever you build, right? And maintain the dashboards, refresh your data to see your dashboards real and live, right? Altogether, it's a bigger effort involved, and that is what the leaders and the executives see on their daily mornings, assess and take their decisions, which is something towards data consumption part, right? You just consume it from the leader's perspective, but again, from the dashboard as such itself is a bigger pain, I would say, or investment, huge investment, I would say, in building that, considering this AI tools, right? I have seen you just point your databases, warehouse, or queries, SQLs, or whatever the reporting requirements, reporting SQLs, right? You just tell this, you don't even want to feed it, right? You just point, in this location I have my data, and this location I have my logics, what my report should look like. That's it. On top of that, any leader can put their prompts to it. I want to see whatever they are seeing on dashboards, and whatever they are seeing on the dashboard is whatever based on the requirements, right? But when it comes to AI, it even does, like, probably some intelligent responses. As I said, it is much more interactive, and it even tells you, like, I think, there is something you are missing. You definitely need to review this, right? It can even, give that intelligent report to you. And I have I have evidence, or many people seeing that evidence nowadays, and that is much more powerful. And for that mind shift, I mean, that mindset shift has to happen, because you are pretty much, 20 years or 30 years uh, practiced with your typical dashboards, or seeing Excel reports, or hearing it from your subordinates or your analysts, right? So that could be your way. But the modern leaders are going to come up with the AI influenced kind of, data strategic reports. um, okay, I have given some actions as well here, like, if I would recommend to spend 30 minutes a week with any GenAI analytics tool on your own data. So you can, with your interest, right, you can uh, download any data in any domain, and or you can build your own data, right? You can just think a problem statement and build your own data, and using any GenAI analytics tool, right? You can start exploring how the GenAI analytics provide you the response, right? So you can spend at least 30 minutes a week. That way you will be definitely, gaining this mindset shift. So uh, the next would be the team model shift, right? Okay, so from managing projects to orchestrating AI human projects. Okay, so what I mean by here is, here today I have 10 member team, right? So I'm managing 10 people. They could be, different geographies, but now, like, it's going to be probably, the same 10 member team with the AI team as well. What I mean by AI team is, it's virtual, right? So you have 10 physical members, and probably if you have 5 license, right, 5 AI license, Cloud license, or Copilot license, it's technically 15-member team. So 10 plus 5-member team you are going to manage. It's kind of orchestration. You don't even want to call it as managing, right? You are going to orchestrate. You're going to tell them what you are going to do, and that's what you will be doing it when you deal with your team members, right? But when it comes to AI, right, you need to probably orchestrate it, tell the way it understands nicely and accurately, and what you wanted to tell, or what you wanted to achieve from the team, right? You may have to properly orchestrate to the AI with these team members, right? So that way you will be getting 15 members output with 10-member team, which is nothing but your AI human team, 10 plus 5 license, I would say. So you could probably, the action you could take here is, take some tasks, use any GenAI tool, and see, how it gives you the results, right? Probably, you have, assuming that, you have a team member, you give this task to the team member, and you give some task to this AI engine, and so that, you'll be able to assess how you are managing your team, as well as with the AI engines, right? So that's what I'm trying to say here. The risk shift is something like, from risk avoidance to the calculated AI risk taking. So typically, what happens is, we chart down the risks when we enter into a project. We forecast even the risks, and write up our known risk, unknown risk, what could be the mitigations, how we want to avoid or accept it or mitigate it, right? So all the risk related you know items would be logged, captured, and mitigations, and the measures would be taken up. But now, the calculated AI risk taking will help us in, probably, help us in excluding the bigger risks, right? So you need to understand, like, one thing: not adopting AI is going to be a risk, because now everyone is influenced with that, and everyone is going to be ingested with that, right? So if you're not taking AI as an option, it's a bigger risk. That is first thing. And so the leaders must be able to balance the hallucination risks, right? So again, AI is going to give you multiple options, probably different options for the same problem, right? So you might be initially worried or probably frustrated on seeing different results, because you are in the neck of that moment. Probably you were entering into the hotspot, or probably a war room, where you need to take some decisions, right? Or probably you need to action something for any given risk. And the AI, probably when you are taking up the AI based approaches and doing that analysis, coming out with some um, suggestions based on that, right? So the outcome might be different, right? Which obviously creates a frustrations. So that is something we need to work out with the AI agents, building it, probably with some proper rules, with some proper exclusion criterias, or what creates that hallucination. If you are able to study that for your data and tuned the AI agents accordingly, right? That helps probably taking the risk mitigations accordingly. So the next one is about the influence shift. So this is basically from the functional mode to the cross AI orchestration mode. Here, AI breaks functional boundaries. The leaders who are going to win in those, right? So they will see how AI in one function amplifies another. Means, so they will be able to see the changes, what between the teams, from a functional team versus the team which is leveraging the AI technologies, right? So there will be a change in the volume of outcomes what the project's going to see. The last one is about the planning shift. So from annual planning to a continuous adaptive strategies, right? So it's going to be much more frequent and uh, progressive plannings. Instead of you meet with the team just once in a year, or probably in a half-yearly manner, right? So then you plan it for the next 6 months or the next 1 year. That is the traditional way, but using the continuous planning methods, right? So it helps to reassess it very frequently and take appropriate measures very frequently, helps the project programs outcomes. So moving on to the governance, right? So which is very key. That is where the responsibility or responsible use of AI comes into picture. So for anything, right, the governance should be a mandatory thing. Otherwise, things goes very messy. And I mean, we are dealing with people, and we are dealing with the requirements. The industry is very volatile. A lot of factors could influence the project program's output. In that situations, right, AI can also play its role in making things messier. As it produces faster results, it could also create the mess faster, provided if there is no governance or any ethics followed, or properly risks are managed. And that's where the governance plays a major role. So I've categorized, in some of these key pillars, right? So how to responsibly use AI. First thing is transparent. So in fact, AI gives you the facts on how it makes its decisions, right? So at the same time, like, try to avoid blank questions or confusing questions to the AI engines, so that it will also provide probably it may provide a correct answer to the question, but it is not the appropriate answer, or it might be able to deviate you if you take that answers, right? So that's where we need to be very careful in articulating our questions and the prompts to the engine. So obviously, yeah, the audits are essential. What it means is, when you come out with a solution based on AI engines, right? I would say, audit is essential. Maybe this is essential even in the traditional approach, but now auditing the AI based responses and decisions out of it, right? It might be more strengthened to begin with. When it gets into the maturity, right, we can probably reduce that level of audit there. The next one is about the fairness and the bias control. So if the data is not good enough, for example, if we are trying to do some analysis where the group of people is with 80-90 percentage of male and very less percentage of female population, right? So the results might be more biased towards that particular group. That happens everywhere, right? So that is where the coverage and the mix of data and the history of data plays a bigger role when it comes to any analysis, not just the AI. But again, AI, as it the engines are more powerful, you get an immediate result, and when you take that, and if it is biased, right, it's not that great, and it is not the mistake of the AI response, but the population and the data what we have contextually given to the engine is not that great enough to make the decisions, right? So that we need to have a fairness in giving the data or asking questions to the engine. The data privacy is a key thing, I would say, because it's cloud, right? It's open. So never ever feed any of your PAI, the personal identification informations, right? We are not we don't encourage feeding any PAI information or any confidential contract related things, proprietary IP related aspects into the public LLMs or into the AI agents. So that can easily expose to the outer world, right? So that's something should be carefully dealt with. And the human accountability also plays a role. So it means, even though the AI agents or engines are providing you the results, giving you suggestions, recommendations, and giving you some decision options, right? It's under, in the end of the day, we decide, right? I think that's what I was trying to clarify earlier. So today, right, the decision making, especially when it comes to the leadership teams and usage of GenAI tools from the managerial layer or above, right? So the decisions are still made by us, human take the decisions, but it is more faster and accurate with all the supporting factors which GenAI provides us. So that is where the human accountability comes in. The safety and guardrails are something the data what we are feeding into the AI, right? So it has to be monitored, and it has to be if it is a customer oriented space, we have to be carefully supplying the information into the AI agents. So the heat map, kind of a heat map I have shown here, what is high risk aspects and medium and low. So obviously, if you see the AI hallucinations, if you have not used much, you might have not seen, you might not even probably feel what it means, but it is one of the biggest problem, I would say. But yeah, again, something, you can obviously overcome this with right input and by studying the data, or by knowing what you want to ask, what is the correct question you want to ask, and how appropriately you want to put your questions, right? All that matters, and that way you can definitely avoid the AI hallucinations. Data privacy, a common problem, but yeah, this is something, the individuals and the organizations should be very careful in passing the I mean the PA or the secured informations, into the AI space. So yeah, one of the fact I've taken is about a regulatory watch, right? So the European Union AI Act 2024, it classifies AI systems by risk level. So leaders in regulated industries must map their AI use cases to compliance tiers now. And according to ISO 42001, right? So uh, it's emerging as the global governance benchmark. See, again, there are different government organizations coming up with their guidelines and the regulations on how to use and how to avoid any threats which could potentially come from AI. We are yet to see a lot of regulations opening up, coming up, down the line. But given the nature of the usage, of the GenAI to the users, to the common users, right? It's more safe, I would say, or like it's not that threatful, I would say. Let's jump into the action plan. Okay, so this might be interesting. Like you can probably each one of you would have already had some mindset of how to use the AI tools in your training or in your course syllabus, or probably whatever the projects you are doing, right? So you could have gone through some of the plan, but I've just charted probably 90-day plan. If you are really beginner, and if you have not done anything, right, you can just think about it from 1 to 30 days, right? You can treat that as a foundation period. Just take up any AI trainings or AI programs which talks about what is vector database, what is how the AI engine works, how you can build your AI agents, what an agent actually means, right? So some basic trainings you can go through. By the end, right, you can also come up with a use case. Like think about a use case after all your training, right? So that in the next phase you can start building that use case, right? Using the any AI engines, right? You can start building the use case. You can fail or you can succeed. Even if you fail, right, you will know what it cost you to fail. But at the end of the day, you will be using AI agent to do that. So that helps you to get an awareness about how you are using the AI engines in building your use case. The next phase, right, you can come up with much more use cases, 2-3 use cases, do the same exercise, and you will be able to now see the real outcome of using any GenAI tool. The same thing goes to your project management when you get into your managing aspects, right? So your team might be new, like, or your customer might not be towards the latest technologies, right? Not every customer is like the top, the big tier companies, right? So they might be a little hesitant, but as a service provider, right, or as a technology leaders, right? So you can propose this with your hands-on or with your learnings from here, from your institute, right? So you can motivate your team or talk to your customer about the benefits of getting into the latest technologies, right? That helps you. Probably this 90-day plan can help any fresher to get familiarized and get an expert level of using AI agents for any of your leadership projects or trainings. I think we are at the very end and we are at the closing slide here. I would just like to call out 5 things to remember. AI is not coming, it's already here, right? And I hope everyone accepts that. And leadership is the differentiator because that is where the key decisions are made, and that's where the strategy is driven. And AI is a capability which is going to enhance the leadership styles, in that layer. So start small and prove the value fast, right? So the previous slide, what we were talking about, take some small use cases, experiment it, and then do a pilot phase, build your own projects using AI involved decision making things, right? So that helps you, or that proves you that you are into that race. Governance is a competitive advantage, yeah. So it should start from the time when you start learning about the new technology, right? So you should also know about the consequences, the fallbacks and the problems which the new technology is going to introduce or which is already having. So keeping a governance on top of it will create a self-discipline, or probably to make you to work towards an ethical grounds, right? So keep governance in mind. Yeah, again, invest in your people first. Means I'm just trying to tell here that you are going to be valued, and AI is going to help you, and probably it's going to help you in taking the decisions and making your work faster and a smoother way. So the key aspects, whatever I wanted to talk about managing a project in a GenAI space, is something whatever I could call out in different slides, I've called it out here, but there are many more things which we experience in our regular days. That is something, probably if you have any questions, interests to know about the on the ground facts, feel free to reach me. With that, I would like to say the best managers of AI era won't be those who know the most about AI. They are the ones who help their teams learn fast, fail safely, and build the confidence to keep moving forward. Let me stop here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the deliberation, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dear students, you can ask questions to sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much for your structured presentation, sir. I'm completely against the school of AI, so I just want to add some questions to you. Even though I embrace AI, because we can't stay away from technology, but I'm happy you are probably from Zenex of our team. So we have seen the shift of natural intelligence, the power of natural intelligence, of collecting, assimilating, working on data, developing insights, taking intelligence on that decision making, because your one-liner was very clear that AI is not for decision making, AI is enabler for decision making.
Yeah.
My only question to you is by any way, using AI, I do use it, no doubt at all, but the change of human intelligence towards the shift all the way of removing all, how do you define intelligence in the current scenario? Because now collecting, assimilation, all the data are available in your access. So if anybody comes and says today that I have collected the data by taking 3 months time, it's not valid. I use the tool. So it's all becomes smart. The question is whether you said that working fast or working deep. Because sometimes, because you spoke on the ethical part, am I right? So the data privacy, there are a lot of challenges are there because most of us are novice. Could you please tell us your suggestion to use AI ethically, because you'll be working with a lot of team. So shorter the better, or is it longer the better? Is your choice.
See, basically, it is both. I would say AI is going to give you the shorter time with deeper data to it. That's how we've seen. So basically, it's mix of both. It is not that it gives you the response in 10 minutes. Does not mean that it's just taking 10 minutes of your 3 months work. Like you are giving a report for me in 3 months. Like in the third month you are giving me a quarterly. Typically, quarterly report is quarterly report. You are going to tell what happened in the last 3 months in the end of the 3 month, right? That is something different. But okay, if I tell you, like if a person is analyzing a data for the 10 years of data for a company, right? For the last 10 years, some audit is happening. And that person is taking the records, analyzing all the, inflow, outflow of the cash, all the miscellaneous, whatever, right? He's doing. And it takes probably 1 week of time for him to, consolidate it, collect it, clean it, removing the noise of it, structuring it, doing some analysis to it, clarifying it with people, and then creating a report, showing it to that party, right? So it takes at least 1 week of time. And if we are introducing this AI, let's assume the same data given to this particular auditor from a system, right? I'm talking about system, like it's not like on 5 paper or like on meetings, or on a system data is given to that auditor. The same data is given to this models, right? GenAI tools. It takes 10 minutes of time. It does not mean that it is obviously faster, because 1 week versus 10 minutes is definitely faster. But it does not mean that whatever the auditor is taking, auditor would have come to a conclusion in the first 10 minutes, right? The GenAI's response in 10 minutes is not the one which the auditor concluded in 10 minutes. It is something, probably even if the auditor would have taken 2 weeks of time, he could have beautified it, the report. He could have, enhanced it more with some future aspects, right? That is what the GenAI engines are now giving, right? It is not that just that faster in response. It also has the content to it, depth to it, probably with some beautification to it, colors to it. In all aspects, it tries. See, whatever we could assume, right? You have given me this report, but you could have given it to me, like with additional insights or informations which could have helped me. Whatever we could have feel from the user perspective, right? That GenAI will be able. Is producing us in the 10 minutes of time. So again, there is no question of incorrect information, because always GenAI can prove that how I have taken this data. So 1 week we can wait for 1 week, but I have received the result from 10 minutes of time, right? After 1 week, if we compare, we could assess the data, and we could also see how this 10 minutes result has been given by the GenAI with the facts. It can also prove the theory like behind it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ask him to come here.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, hi.
In upcoming future, it is necessary to adopt this type of technology.
You don't have any other option. We have to. It's already there. Like see. Are you not using Google? Are you not using phone? Like means we are using Google. We are using Google Maps, right? It has been taken up. It's been Means it started being part of our life, right? So that's how the GenAI models or technologies are going to be. So yeah, it is essential. We have to be aware of it, at least from the customer's perspective. Right? I have seen customers are from. I mean, I could see from last year to now this year, and probably 2-3 years back to this year. Right? Every month, the expectations are totally different. Like whatever we were doing, means we are into the service side. We are also now working for the customer, right? So their expectations are way high now compared to the previous month and previous quarter. Like it's getting changed. That is only because of the latest trends of this Gen AI um, introductions, and the tool usages, and the benefits which is giving us. See, basically the benefits are there, right? Benefits are high, I would say. So see, like it's like anyone can code it, anyone can do research, anyone can ask anything. Like it gives law. I mean, you just need to probably, if you want to read the news, yeah, it takes time. You just ask it, it will give you. But for any technical thing, right, you need to know Java or Oops or C or like that's from the software development side. But from the leadership side, you need to know what is critical path, or what is your who are your stakeholders, how to manage your stakeholders, or how to estimate your projects, what is customer profitability. Like you may need to know this individually if you want to do that. But I mean, obviously, all of us will, whoever getting into the roles, right? For a manager, you should know basically what is management all about, right? IT management. But using this tool, right, you will be given a bigger, machine, like bigger armor to you. Like see, as far as you are in a war, if you have a bigger weapon with you, you are the winner, right? So I mean, that's how the GenAI is treated now. It's a bigger weapon, I would say. And keeping that weapon is going to make you or create you a success. Yeah. Yes, you need to get into that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Students, any more questions? Okay. Okay, fine. Present.
Thank you, sir, for the enlightening and thought-provoking session. Now, as we come towards the end of this wonderful session, I now invite Mr. M. Arun, first year MBA, to deliver the order of thanks.
So good morning to another person here. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. Today insightful. So insightful on managing the age of AI, how GenAI redefined business and their IT leadership. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. GANESH, KUMAR, SIVASUBRAMANIAN, for delivering such a enlightened and thought-provoking sessions. Your valuable insight on AI leadership have truly inspired us. Thank you, sir. And I extend my sincere thanks to our respected founder, executive chairman, and our respected principal, Dr. K. Visagavel, sir, contact his support, and in their absence, thank you, sir. I would like to also thank our director, Dr. A. Stephen, sir, for his valuable words and support the organizing the sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
A special thanks to our respected Dr. P. Venkatesh, HOD MBA, and Dr. Vijay Kumar, HOD MBA IEV, and back to members the continuous motivation and support. I would like to thank our business insight club for organizing this meeting. Finally, I extend my gratitude to all the students who participate activities. Thank you.
Thank you for the expressing gratitude on behalf of all of us. Come to the end of today's session. I sincerely thank all the speakers, our esteemed faculty members, and participants for working to keep the grants. Have a great day, artists. Thank you.
Sir Ganesh Kumar, sir, thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful deliberation, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for having me here. It's been a pleasure, and it took me definitely 20 years back. I could see myself sitting in one of this room, and I'm glad